Hi guys, so today we're going to be reading a book and it's called I Am Rosa Parks. Now, this book is an autobiography. Can you guys say autobiography? It's kind of a long word to say, but an autobiography is a type of book about a person that was real and that really lived. So today we're going to go over how I'm thinking when I'm looking at the pictures of this book and how I can figure certain things out based on the illustration. And illustration means pictures. I am Rosa Parks. Growing up, I was small for my age. I was sick a lot too, since we didn't have money for a doctor, but that didn't mean I was weak. I'm not that short. Looks like you are, so most kids are this height. Rose's younger brother is that height, and Rosa is small. She's very small for her age. When I was 11, as I was walking home from school, a boy on roller skates came zipping by and shoved me. He thought I'd be an easy target. To his surprise, I turned around and pushed him back. I knew fighting was wrong, but I didn't want him picking on me again. His mother saw what happened. She was mad that I pushed him. Uh-oh, this is gonna be bad. Did you just push my son? So she's showing right here in this picture that she's short, but she is definitely not weak. She pushed him just as hard as he pushed her. But you know what made her even madder? I was black and her son was white. She immediately started yelling. I'll have you put in jail. You'll never get out again. She's so mad, you can tell. Rosa looks sad. She's getting yelled at. I mean, I would also be sad getting yelled at. No question, it was scary. But my mother and grandfather taught me to respect myself and to expect respect from others. So instead of backing down, I stood my ground. I'm confused. What does I stood my ground mean? Okay, let's keep reading and maybe we can come back and see if we can figure it out. I stood my ground and calmly but firmly I explained, your son was the one who pushed me. I didn't bother him at all. So I think stood my ground means she stood up for herself. I wasn't just standing up to that mom or even to the boy on roller skates. I was standing up for myself. There we go. After that, the boy and his mom never bothered me again. Still, it's hard to change things. Sometimes it can take a long time. Back then, if you were black, you were treated unfairly just because of the color of your skin. You weren't allowed to live in the same neighborhoods as a white person, eat in the same restaurants, ride the same elevators, or use the same bathrooms. You couldn't even drink from the same water fountain. One was marked for whites, the other for colored. So you can see in this picture right here that I can see that this man is pointing to the elevator, showing the black people that they have to get on this elevator. Now in my head I'm thinking, if I was in the shoes of Rosa Parks, when I say I was in the shoes, I mean if I was Rosa Parks, how would I feel if I couldn't ride the same elevator as everyone else? I would feel super sad, but also I'd feel angry that people were treating me so badly just based on how my skin was. We can't control the color of our skin, so it's so unfair that they got treated this way. When I was little, I used to wonder if white water tasted different from colored water. I even wondered if colored water came in lots of colors. So you can see right here that she is imagining that the water is in rainbow color. And I know that water is not actually colored, so I know that she's just imagining this. But it didn't. The only difference was I had to walk outside or even down the block to get mine. Of course, it wasn't just about the water fountain. This was my school, a small, old wooden building with one room and one teacher for all of us. Everyone from the 5 year olds to the sixth graders were stuffed into that one room. There were no windows, desks, and barely any books. Since most kids had to work on the farm to earn money, we only went to school for 5 months during the year, so all the black kids had to go, and they only got to go to school for 5 months because they had to go work on the field to make money for their family. Less school, hooray! And Rosa Parks, you can see in her face that she is not amused. She is not very happy that he is happy. Don't say hooray, that's bad. We also brought our books home every night. Why? Because we were worried that who hated the color of our skin would burn down our school. I can't even imagine being that scared. Now, here's the school for the kids who are white. Notice the difference? So I'm going to look at both pictures. I'm going to look at this one. This is where all the black kids went to school. It's dark and dingy. There's no desks you can see in front of them. And there's no windows in the background. And then I'm looking at the one where all the white kids go to school, and I see, oh my gosh, there's desks, and there's a chalkboard, and there's light, and there's windows, and there's even a playground outside. It was a new brick building with beautiful windows, new desks, and plenty of books, plus a playground. Also, if you were black, you had to walk to school. If you were white, you got to take a bus. The worst part was when I'd walk home with my brother, the kids on the bus would throw trash at us. It made me feel horrible, but there was no civil rights back then. The only solution was to move off the road. And really, what kind of solution is that? As I got older, things didn't change much. So I know she's getting older based on this picture. You can see that she's got glasses now, and she's dressing a little bit older, and she's getting on the bus all by herself. One winter, I was waiting for the local city bus. If you were black, you had to ride in the back. If you were white, you rode up front. On that day, the back of the bus was packed. But there were plenty of seats in the front. I was just trying to find a place to sit. But as I entered through the front door of the bus, what do you think you're doing? You need to get off and use the back door. Only whites can come in from the front. Come in the front. And Rosa said, but I'm already in. I tried to explain that there was no room to get in through the back. The driver didn't care. He wanted me off the bus. He grabbed me by my coat sleeve. I dropped my purse near the front door. To pick it up, I sat in the front seat, a white seat. So when I'm reading this, I can see that in this picture, there are no white seats. So when she says white seats, she's meaning that it's for the white people that are going to sit on the bus. It made the driver madder than ever. That's it. Get out. Get off my bus. That's what he called it. My bus. As if it were his. The bus wasn't his, though. It belonged to all of us. Still that afternoon, the driver got his way. He kicked me off. But I promise you, that wasn't the last time I faced the bus driver. Tell me what happened next. So I can see from the picture, she's talking to a man. And it looks like right here, he is recording her voice. That's what they used to use a long time ago to do voice recordings. Let's keep reading. From there, in addition to working as a seamstress, I started working to change things at the NAACP. I don't really know what the NAACP stands for, so let's keep reading and see if we can figure out. At the NAACP, we fought for fairer laws and made sure that people's stories were heard. Okay, so the NAACP, I think it is an organization that helps colored people to have fairer laws. I also stopped using colored water fountains. I'd rather go thirsty than be treated so poorly. It was the same. It was the same with separated elevators. Instead of riding them, I'd take the stairs. But as for real change, even I didn't know what was coming. Hmm. It was the end of a busy Thursday. I was 42 years old and on the bus going home. This time I was sitting in the back in the first row of the seats that were allowed for black people. Okay, so I know right now that, she's not breaking any rules that they had back then. She's sitting where all the other black people are sitting. She's just sitting in the first row of where the segregated section happens. So you can see that there's a white man right here, and then the rest and to the back are black. There was one man next to me and two women across me. So you can see a man and then two women. It was the same driver from before, the exact same one from all those years earlier. At the third stop, a few white people got on, filling the rest of the empty seats. There was one white person left standing, so the driver told those of us in my row, "Let me have those front seats." I know that the bus driver is not a very nice person from earlier. At first, none of us moved, but when he asked again, "Y'all better make it light on yourselves and let me have those seats." The other three people got up. I stayed right where I was. Sliding over to the window, I thought about what he was demanding. He wanted to take my seat away. He wanted to give it to that man. And why? Because I was black and the man was white. Come on, get up. I can see in this picture that she's mad from her brows and her frown on her face. She looks very mad. I knew what the rule said, but I also knew in my heart that's not how you treat people. Without a doubt, the driver was mad, but I never lost my cool. What does it mean when they say never lost my cool? Never raised my voice. Okay, so she never got angry. That's what it's telling me when I read never raised my voice. She looks in this picture so calm, and he is so angry. Are you gonna get up? No. Some people said that the reason I refused to give up my seat was because I was tired, and I was. But it wasn't the kind of tired that came from aching feet. The only tired I was tired of giving up. Well, I'm going to have to arrest you. You may go on and do so. Before me, there were other brave women who refused to give up their seat. Still, on that day, for violating the rules of Montgomery, Alabama, I got arrested. But by standing up for myself, I ignited a movement. When she says I ignited a movement, I'm trying to think, what does that mean? I ignited a movement. So I'm going to look at the picture. And what I see here is there's so many people. And they have signs. And the signs, some of them say fair treatment for all. End bias now. No segregation or end segregation. Strike. Fair for all. So I think these people are also angry. And this is what a movement is. A movement includes a bunch of people standing up for one thing that's right. From there, the Montgomery bus boycott began for 381 days. That's well over a year, all blacks in the city. And a few whites refused to ride the public bus. I wonder what's going to happen. Look at this man. He's white and she's black. But if you don't use the buses, we'll go out of business. Then maybe you should think about changing your rules. Finally, the rules were changed. Public buses were no longer allowed to separate people. based on the color of their skin. We're going to stop there. But I hope you guys really like this book. I know that the big message behind this book is that segregation and being mean to somebody based on their skin is wrong. And we can see that from all the illustration that Rosa Parks really did a big, huge thing for the African American community by standing up for what is right.